Yes, yes. All right. Oh, I'm live. All right, let's see how this goes. Let's get this set up. Oh, I'm live. All right, hello everybody. This is Justin, Justin Germany, and I think the sound is okay. And yeah, so I want to make a Q&A. It's been, first of all, let's get started. I haven't made a video in a very, very long time. It's been over 2 weeks since I have made a video. And the main reason is that I lost my cell phone. I haven't had my cell phone for exactly 2 weeks now. And my thought process is that my cell phone is somewhere lost in the house. But it's been 2 weeks and I haven't found it yet. And I'm on 300 hours away, only 300 hours away from being able to go, I guess, I don't know, get monetized on this channel. And it's not that I was necessarily trying to get monetized. I wanted to make this as a hobby, but since I'm so close, it's like, wow, I need to do it. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna pull out my laptop, my old laptop, my broke down laptop, and I decided to make a live video, and I'm going to answer questions that I am always asked when I moved to Germany. And so, the probably the biggest question and the most important question that I get is going to be the question I answer last. And that answer is always, which country is better, America or Germany? I get that question asked the most out of all my questions ever. Which country is better, Germany or America? And I will answer that question last because I try to give a very, very detailed answer. And normally, when people ask me that question, they already have an opinion anyway. They already either love one country or love another one. And I try to give them the clearest answer possible. And it's one of those things that changes probably weekly. One day I might say I love America more, the next day I say I love Germany more. But at the end of the day, every country has their advantages and disadvantages. And there are certain things that, yeah, you just love. And there's some things that no matter where you go to, you're always going to love home. So I have to factor in those things whenever I answer that question. So, but let's get started with some other questions. Um, I'm gonna start off with the simplest ones, easiest to answer. Um, I think the first one is going to be, and I wonder if all Americans are asked this question. Um, do I own a gun or do I shoot guns? Um, I have shot guns multiple times in my life. I don't think shooting a gun in America is like driving a car. It's something that's available everywhere. I'm pretty sure everyone knows at least 10 people. I'm not going to say one person. I'm pretty sure everyone knows at least 10 people that own a gun. And even if you don't own one, you can still borrow somebody else's, go to a gun range and shoot some guns. Um, and so yes, that's probably the easiest question I can answer. Do I have I shot guns and have I owned guns? I did own a gun when I was in the States, but actually it wasn't like I am a gun collector. I it was like you get old enough, you had opportunity to do it, so you do it. It's kind of like when I turned 18, I bought a pack of cigarettes. I've never smoked in my life. But because I had the opportunity to do it once I turned 18, I did it. And so the same thing, I bought a gun a couple of years before I moved to Germany, and then I gave it to my brother afterwards because I didn't need it and I really didn't want it. I'm not a gun carrying person. I have a lot of respect for guns, um, and but yeah, I've never shot one. I mean, I'm sorry, I've never ever um, just had a love to where I feel like I had to carry one. I never carried one around with. I didn't get a concealed carry permit or open carry permit. Which, if I ever go back to America, I probably would just to have it. Not, I'll probably never carry a gun ever around, but I would probably use one and hold it just to have it. So that's the first question. The next question is that I get asked a lot is, have I been? Am I part of a gang? Now, I don't think every American is asked this question. I don't think every American asks this question. I think me, I don't know because I'm black, I'm African American. I don't know if I have that look as if I would be around those type of people. Um, but no, I've never been part of a gang. And some people would probably ask this, probably that's listening or whatever listening will probably say, "Who accused you that?" You know, it's a question that I have probably had to answer 50 times since I've been in Germany. Am I part of a gang? Do I know gang members? Um, and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, I can answer that question. Say I believe I do know gang members. I do know people that say they're part of a gang. I don't know if they're actually part of a gang or not. Um, but it's because of the rap community, because of African Americans, and not just African Americans. I mean, I think every country, to a certain extent, has some type of a gang or some type of mafia, and American movies have popularized these groups and gangs in America. You listen to rap music. Um, a lot of rappers talk about being in gangs and stuff and doing gang activity. And so it's seen as a cool thing or like almost like an exotic thing. And I guess because I looked the part, people have asked me that question quite a bit. Um, so yes, I've known people that claim to be in gangs. Have I ever witnessed any gang activity? No, never witnessed any gang activity. I try not to be around those scenes. I try to stay avoid the areas where that stuff might happen. Uh, but yes, I'm asked that question quite a bit, man. I, yeah, um, mostly by younger people, anyone between the ages of 14 to 22 have asked me that question. It's something I guess that appeals to them, and to be honest with you, it's actually I get a look on their face, a sign of disappointment because they have this ideal version of what they expect me to be, and when I tell them that I'm not, and I start going through the things that I don't do, you see a little bit of disappointment in their eyes, like, why he's not part of a gang, he's not this, and so yeah, I guess I'm sorry I can't feel that thing. So that was the second question. Am I part of a gang? Um, Third question, um, and this one is as I think mainly because a lot of America has done a great job of selling ourselves as being the best country in the world, and you will see the American pride no matter where you are. Americans will display their pride. We have our flags up. It's general love. I don't think there's any other country where people really display their love for their homeland as high as Americans do. And it's not just sporting events; it's everywhere we display it. We are taught to be proud of where we're from. Um, so, do I how I guess the third question is, why do Americans love their country so much? Why do we sing our songs? And are people really like that? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I think not everyone in America will display a flag. Not everyone in America is going to jump up and sing the national anthem. But I do. I love the country. And actually, I think since I've been away from America, I've come to love America more. And it's not necessarily because well, I do miss America. I miss home, but I think it's more because um, I get tired of having to defend myself quite a bit. Whenever someone asks me political questions, and that was come to my next point is, which political party am I associated with? That's the fourth question, and the reason why I bring that one up now because these two tie in together is that a lot of people have an opinion about America, whether you agree with it or not, whether you like it or not. But a lot of people already have an opinion, and I think for the most part there are a certain group of people that either love America, or so they want to ask me certain questions, and then there's another group of people that despise America, despise the country, despise our politics. And so they ask me the questions, who am I going to vote for in order to have an American speak bad about America? And I'm one of those people that I'm honest about my country. I will tell you the good, I will tell you the bad, and I will tell you the ugly because I want to have a dialogue about it. And I've learned a lot more about my country since I've been on the outside of it than when I was there. Because when you're living there, you miss a whole lot. You only see what's around you. Um, and just based on experiences, I know there's things happen in the news all the time, but in my area, change happens very, very slowly, if not at all, if at all. And so a lot of times people ask me questions and they already have an opinion. And I've realized that there's so many people here from other countries that just want to have an American talk bad about America. You know, it'd be the same thing when Fox News invites a black person to speak bad about the black community, or CNN will invite a Republican to speak bad about Trump, or someone like that, and you don't bring them there for any other reason just to speak bad about that group. And I've met so many people from other parts of the world that have wanted me to speak bad about my country and only speak bad about my country. They didn't want my opinion. Well, my opinion was um, something good about America or it contradicted their opinion. They didn't want to talk to me anymore. They only wanted to listen to me when I said something negative. And that caused me to shift gears a little bit. That caused me to say, whoa, whoa, I'm not going to be that voice box where you can say, yep, yes, yeah, I talked to an American and he spoke bad about him. I'm not going to be that person for you. I am going to give you the good and the bad and the ugly. And I started sizing people up. And so when people just come up to me and their first question is about politics or Trump or Joe Biden and stuff like that, I become a stereotypical American. I speak with a more Southern slang, Southern accent. My country boy comes out and I started singing the national anthem to a certain extent. I'm going crazy. America this, America great, woo, America. And I do that, and then they walk away. And then I'm like, okay, they really didn't care. But when people generally actually want me to talk about my experiences and how I feel about America and actually want to have dialogue about it, then I will sit there and I will tell them my real feelings about it. And it's about every topic. I don't have an opinion about everything. There's so many topics to discuss. And every time you talk to politicians, they talk about their main points. And I don't have an opinion to all of them, or at least a strong opinion. I might have a few words I can say, but to every topic, I don't have opinion to. So, but there are some things based on my experiences where I feel like I can give my honest opinion and based off of evidence from what's going on. And when people generally want to listen, they will take it. And the cool thing about it is that they will also, or we will engage in talking about Germany as well, and the good and the bad. And Germans do a great job reflecting on their country, at least the ones that actually want to talk. Like I said, there's some individuals that just really want me to speak bad about where I'm from, and I'm not going to do that for your benefit. I'm not going to talk about that, and that has actually caused me to become more American than ever before. Yeah. So, all right. So that's the fourth question. Oh no no. So who am I voting for politically? Oh man, the election time is coming up, and this question pops up more and more. Am I going to vote for the Democrats, or am I going to vote for Republicans, or will I vote independently? I will not give the answer to that question. I will tell you how I've been historically. Historically, I've voted mainly for Democrats. I did, but I haven't voted for every election. In the past. There was a couple of elections that I skipped, national elections, where I couldn't necessarily give an opinion to which candidate that I wanted to follow the most, and um, and so I kind of slid back because here's the thing that I'm on certain opinions about, and I hear this a lot when people talk about politicians that they don't like, and I I talk to a lot of people. I talk to lot of people about everything. And whenever we get on the subject of politics, and we start talking about the different politics in political situations in different countries, and whether you like this or whether you don't like that, how does it reflect back on Germany? It seems like they always refer back to, now I don't want to say it wrong, it's the prime minister or it's the president of Turkey, Erdogan, President Erdogan. Um, and they would make a comment about why there's so many um, citizens of Turkey that currently live in Europe and live in Germany or in England somewhere like that, but yet they still vote for Erdogan. And I guess politically, he is a little bit different from the typical European countries as far as mindset, as far as political stances. And the comment would always be, how can you vote for him yet you live in Europe? Now, sometimes I look at it as, okay, that's a general opinion. Sometimes I look at it as maybe they have a little bit of racial context to it. Um, a lot of times I say the Turkish people are like the Mexicans of American. Um, there's a lot of people that just don't like them for some reason. I don't know why. And so they criticize them for different reasons. Just like Mexican Americans are criticized quite a bit, especially around election time. Of course, they talk about the ones that are legal, but they really sometimes they generally mean all of them. Like they say, coming like they're taking our jobs, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's interesting now because I'm an immigrant to Germany, and I wonder when they say immigrants are taking their jobs, are they including me too? Sometimes I think they are, sometimes they're not, because America is not seen as a what America's not starting to be seen as a bad country, but America's always been seen as one of the top countries. And so by me coming from America to here, I didn't get the same form of resentment as someone that's coming from let's say, an African nation or an Eastern European nation or Middle East, where people think you are speaking negative about them, just like they would about someone coming from Mexico or anyone from South America or just like that. And so I hear that come in, but then I start thinking, I'm living in Germany. Um, why am I voting on issues that happen to people in America? I am living in Germany. I'm not living in America. And so some issues that are going on in America are not my issues. I don't have to worry about those. So why am I focused on a political situation there? Why should I even vote? If I'm not living there, I shouldn't vote there. Um, I do have that mindset a little bit. Yet I do realize American the American political system does play well on the international side. So here's a reason for me to vote. I mean, we saw that when former President Donald Trump wanted to pull us out of NATO, and President Joe Biden wanted to put us back in NATO. That has a huge stance. Our international politics are very, very important. And right now, there are two different sides that are running. So from that standpoint, I do have a reason to vote. Um, and I will vote this time. I'm not going to sit home and not vote. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for because honestly, even though I'm leaning in one direction, I'm not 100% sure because there are some political things that are going on that I don't necessarily agree with. I think that I yeah I gotta look at what's best for me and who's gonna make the best political situation, international politics from international political stance. Which one is best for me? What's going on inside of America? I'm not. I am concerned about. I am concerned about that for my family, but I'm more focused on the international political side and how that stuff will affect me. And so I'm kind of balanced. I'm leaning, but I am leaning to one side. I'm leaning heavily to one side. Um, so we'll see. So, all right. The next question that I get asked quite a bit is, and it's a silly question. It's a silly question. I think this is just asked by young children. So I'm going to answer this question. It's a question that I'm asked about. There's a Messi or Ronaldo, the two biggest football players ever, Messi or Ronaldo, and the kids would always ask me, who do I choose? And honestly, my short answer is I choose Messi, and it has nothing to do with their careers or anything like that, except for Messi plays in America now, and because he's connected to America, I'm going to lead that direction. But honestly, I've never really watched football. I watch games every now and then, and I'm becoming a bigger fan of the Bundesliga right now, mainly because if you pay attention, um, there might be a new champion after maybe 12 years. There might be a new champion in the Bundesliga, and so I'm all for that. One team has dominated for 12 years, and I'm pretty sure they're going to dominate after this year as well. But it's kind of cool that someone has finally has an opportunity to top them. The year is not over. It's too far. It's too close still to say it's over. So yeah. Oh, how did you lose your phone? You know, I I can. I'm unorganized. I am very very unorganized. Thanks for the question. I'm unorganized. I was cleaning up and my daughter started crying and she wanted me to pick her up and I picked her up and I held her in my arms and I brought her to another room and somewhere between me bringing her to another room and keeping her calm and then going back to clean up, I misplaced my phone and I know it's somewhere in the house. um, but oh man, I can't find it. I've looked everywhere. I've dug in the trash can. I have looked a couple of times in the trash can because I'm thinking maybe I'm not checking the bags well enough. But I've looked everywhere. It can't be outside, at least not on the street or anywhere like that. It has to be somewhere in the house. But I'm telling you, I've looked everywhere and I haven't found it. And so the only place I'm thinking is that maybe it fell out of my pocket when I was taking out the trash. But I've checked, and I've checked, and I. And the crazy thing is, I have a new phone. I have a new phone. Um, I we were ordering a new phone anyway, so I have a new phone, but I don't have a SIM card, and I am haven't yet to say that my phone was lost because my craziness. My contract is ending, and so I have to get a new contract. Hopefully, I get the same number. I hope that all works out. So I should be back going next week. But yeah, I lost my phone. Man, it's been 2 weeks. I still believe it's somewhere in the house. I haven't given up hope that I will find it. But I literally feel like I've looked everywhere. Everywhere that I have lost it before, I have looked in those places. Unless my daughter picked it up, she's only 2 and she does pick up things and lose things. Um, but I'm telling you, it can't be on the streets because I was cleaning up. I took care of her, made sure she stopped crying, and somewhere in between, within 5 minutes, I lost it, misplaced it, and I don't know where to look. I'm telling you, I would look at the trash cans one more time, and I'm talking about the big one on the outside. Ooh, it stinks. It stinks. But yeah, man. But you know the crazy thing is, this is not the first time I lost my phone. Last time I lost my phone, or no, I'm sorry. The last time I lost my phone for a long time, I lost it for like 3 months. Lost my phone for 3 months, and uh, yeah, and I didn't have a phone for 3 months. Can you imagine not having a phone for 3 months? You know, the elephants roam the streets in Germany. Well, thank you, Mildred. There's 4 people with elephant tattoos that have created themselves a gang of women that are going crazy in the streets, going out, getting themselves a group tattoo. I don't know what's next. I don't know. I'm curious of what you guys got planned next. What are you gonna do? You got a tattoo? Are you gonna come up with a song next? Do you have a flag? I'm pretty sure you already have a shirt or something. I'm worried about what's next for this group. I don't know. I don't know what to think about you guys coming up with this gang affiliation. Are those the elephants you're talking about? Because those are the only elephants I know about. Are this gang affiliation of this group of girls that are starting to go wild in Germany? I think you all went wild last night. Was it last night? Or was it what day was that? Yeah. All right. So, uh, yeah. So that's how I lost my phone. All right. Let me get back to next question. I get asked about all the time. Oh, as some of you guys probably remember, I used to have long hair. Why did I cut my hair? I get that question asked a lot because some people ask me to grow my hair back. I can't grow my hair back. If I lean down, I would show you 3 spots in my head where my hair is falling out and it's not coming back. But even if it did come back, it's so hard to find someone to cut my hair in Germany. I'm gonna make a whole video about that in the future. But when you move to a new country or when you move to a new place, there are so many things that we don't think about. And oh, man, it's not gonna change if you move or not, but it's something you got to consider. And I'm glad that I didn't have children when I moved here in the beginning, but man, it's so many things you got to think about when you move to a new place. And location is key. Is there a good school for children if you plan on having children? Who's going to do your hair and where can you get your hair done? That's not a huge question, but if anyone is like me that puts importance on your physical appearance, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, finding someone to do your hair can be very, very challenging. And I didn't find anyone. Matter of fact, I found more people that messed my head up in Germany than actually I feel like did a decent cut. Finding a doctor, that took a while. Um, Finding a mechanic. You know how many times I got ripped off in Germany already by a mechanic, but I also got ripped off in America too. So it's man, if you're religious, finding a church. There's so many things that I did not consider when I first moved to Germany. When I was just moving anywhere, and this is when you move anywhere. Do you have those type of things? I think this, yeah, Miss Matthias. Matthias, I think you go to a barber, and I think we discussed this one time. I think the barber you go to, if it's the same one, I'm not gonna say a name, I'm not gonna say a location, but I think he messed my head up. Actually, he cut my hair one time, and I was leaving now to send you something. She's like, Justin, why do you have this huge gash in your head? A barber in Opladen, Germany, messed my head up so bad and didn't tell me. Just let me walk out the door. I paid the man. He let me walk out the door and made me look like a fool. He should have been straight up honest, like, I'm sorry, I put a gash in your head. Let me shave your head. He should have just shaved my whole head off. Once he made that mistake, he should have just shaved everything off and just saved me the drama of walking around. I would have taken it like a champ. I was like, ooh. Because I understand cutting my style of hair is not common for everybody. Oh man, and I couldn't do it myself, but now I do it myself. I shave it myself. But so I would not grow my hair back for those two reasons. One, My hair is falling out in two. Um, Man, I never found a barber that I trusted. All right, next question. This was asked by a lot of young children. Am I a professional athlete? Oh man, you'll be shocked by the number of people that ask me if I play professional sports. They can't think of any other reason why a person like me would move to this country. And so the first question he asked me is if I play professional sports. And I always tell them no. No, of course not. I've never played a professional sports, and I think they finally realized that once they see me walking around or taking a bus, they say, okay, it's probably true. But then again, maybe it's not because a lot of people take the bus here. But so many people ask me if I play professional sports. Um, Back in the day, I guess I was in better shape. I even had one guy, he swore up and down that he saw me, that I played for a team. He introduced me to his wife. He asked for my autograph. And I would think he was joking, but he wasn't joking. He was serious. And every time I saw him, he would give me a handshake, and man, he was very polite. He was very polite, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that ask me that question. I guess they could not realize or come up to a good reason to why I moved to this area. Why would I move to Germany unless I played sports? And I guess maybe before there weren't a whole lot of people like me here. Since I've been here, there's been more and more. But still, you can clearly tell I'm an American. You can see my swagger, so it's always different. Um, yeah. So, all right, next question. Racism. Racism in Germany. Um, do I have I felt any racism here in Germany or in America? I think that's actually two different questions. Racism in Germany versus racism in America. I can do a whole video about this as well, and I probably will. I'm just gonna give a short answer. I have felt just as much racism here in Germany as I have in America. Now you can take that two different ways. You can take that as that there's a lot of racism here in Germany, or you can take it as that I did not feel that much racism in America. And I can say yes to both of them. There's a lot of racism in America, and there's certain areas in Germany that are also very very racist. But for me, I am lucky enough to say that I have not experienced a whole lot. In America, I stayed in my circle. I knew where I could and could not go, and in my region, it was pretty easy for me to just be me. In America, where I'm from, I come from a small community, and if anyone knows anything about a small community, is that everyone knows everyone. And even if you didn't know me personally, um, it became a situation like in the Bible. They'll say, "Who are you, boy?" When I was younger, but sometimes they still say it to a grown man. And I tell them my name, and then they say, "I don't know you. Who are your folks?" Now that's a very important question. Who are your folks? Um, and it would be, man, it would be like the Bible days. I am just a son of, and I'll say my mom's name, the son and the grandson of, and then I'll keep going back and back so many generations. And finally, once they heard a name that they knew, they said, "Oh, you come from that family. Okay, those are good people." And it was like a door to automatically be open for them because they knew those people. See, my last name, or at least my family's name, my family's heritage was more important than me. That's why I had to respect my family's name so much, and I couldn't do wrong. I had to do right because I did not want to tarnish the name of my family. Um, and so I tried to do my best to be a good person because my name opened doors for me. Whereas some of my friends, because either the people didn't know them or their family had a bad reputation, those same doors wasn't open for them. You can say that it was my way of avoiding racism. Probably so. I probably would have experienced more racism if my family did not have a such an upstanding name in the community. I probably would have faced more racism than where I came from. Here in Germany, once again, um, I stay in my circle, and I didn't come to Germany alone. I came to Germany with a to be with my caring wife, and I was around her family. And of course, they took me places that they were comfortable in. There's not too many places that I went to and established my own. my own relationships with the people because once again they are from here, so they knew the community, knew the place to go to, they knew which restaurants to go to, which facilities to visit, everything like that. And so I didn't have to learn these processes, and I had to learn to deal with certain people. So I never had to make the mistake of walking into a restaurant where the people were racist or anything like that. Have I experienced racism? Yes, I have. I experienced a few situations of racism, and I could always tell because they would make fun of my ability to speak German. And of course, it would always make me question. Of course, I do have a strong accent. I do have a lisp. Um, I do have trouble pronouncing the TH sounds. And so sometimes, and of course, there's certain sounds in German that I just can't make. The letters, the umlauts, I can't make those sounds. And so, but I think it's context. You know, if I'm saying a certain word, and if I'm like a good example, there's book, and then there's Bücher, Bücher. If I am in the library, more than likely I'm going to be asking you about books. I'm not going to be talking about something else that sounds similar. It's all about the context of the sentence. And the people that really want to help me, they understand that. They give me the benefit of the doubt, or they ask me to say it again slower, or maybe even say it in English. You can tell when people want to work with you. And then there's those individuals that do not want to work with you, and boy, they will give me a hard time. But like I said, that's rare. There's been a lot of situations where um, I've actually had it pretty easy. The Ausländer Behörde, the immigration's offices, I could tell you multiple stories. I even done a video about that, about the trouble that a lot of my friends and colleagues have had at these integration offices. I have never had that really. There was one small incident, but for the most part, I've had it easy. I would go to the people. I would use my American Southern charm, and I would use my smile. I've been told I have a pretty good smile, and things were easy for me. I had an easy time adjusting here to Germany. And the times that it were racist situations, I say if there's such thing as positive racism, I think when people saw me as an American, a black American, there are so many people that just thought I was cool. For no other reason, they didn't know anything about me, didn't know my name, didn't know anything about me. All they had to hear was that, hey, I'm an American. Oh, you're an American. Hey, how you doing? I can go up to a person even now these days. I can go to a new person and say, hey, my name is Justin. And they're like, oh yeah. And I say, I'm from America. What? And you see that twinkle in their eyes. It's like me saying something instantly, I'm cool. And you say, oh, that's not true. No, I've seen it. I can walk up to any group of people almost and say that. I think there's only been one situation where a person introduced me to another person and they said, he's from America. And this lady was like, I prefer the Queen's English. And I said, okay. I wasn't quick enough to come up with a comeback because I wanted to say something back. And I thought of an answer later, but it was too late to proceed then. But for the most part, when people introduce me to someone else and they say, hey, this is Justin. And for some reason, the very next thing they normally say is, he's from America. And you see that twinkle in their eyes. Like, and man, and that's where I get these random questions, and boom, the door is open for me. All right. So let's get to the next question. All right, where is the food better, Germany or in America or the rest of the world? I have to say now, this is where you can probably say I am 1% American. The food in America is way better, way better than Germany. I'm not saying there's not good food in Germany. I'm not saying it all. There's great food here in Germany, and I love it. But overall, I prefer the food in America. Um, I can think, I can name you a lot of examples, but I just prefer the food in America. Some people say it's too sweet, too spicy, too this, but I just prefer to move food in America. And even our interpretation of other countries' food, I sometimes prefer more, such as the pizza. I love Italian pizza. I love the German version of Italian pizza, but I also love the American version of it. And I I mean, even as fast food chains, I love it. I think pizza in America is very delicious. Um, and then there's other like Mexico food. I love Mexican food, but I love. I'm pretty sure if I went to Mexico, I could probably find food that I enjoy. But I love the Tex-Mex version of it. I love Texas. The Tex-Mex is just a combination of American style of it. I find it delicious. Man, I look for restaurants like that all the time here. Not every now and then it's a restaurant such as a Mexican restaurant, and I'll go in there and I'll try to see if it's authentic or not. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's close enough. The restaurant that I like going to now is good enough. it's, it tastes good. But there's one thing that I always tell people from America not to do, and that is go to a restaurant and order American food. Oh man, anytime I've been to a restaurant and they say like an American plate or something like this, it's it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. The only thing that tastes like America, and that's because they work really hard to do it, is McDonald's and Burger King. I know that's not. I'm not saying that's typical American food, but honestly, that's the closest you're gonna get. It's like any other time I went to a restaurant and they said they served American food, I have been disappointed. But I have to also understand that even in America, the food in California does not taste the same as the food in New York, and does not taste the same as the food in the South where I'm from. Everybody has their own regional taste. And so when Aldi or Lidl and all the other places say American week, what part of America are they referring to? There's only been one thing that I got during those American weeks that I've been like, oh, that's great. And that is which is Canadian maple syrup. That tastes exactly how it should taste. I don't think you can mess that up. And that tastes exactly how it should taste. Everything else, I'm always curious, like, why do they call this American? But I have to realize maybe they're talking about a region that I don't live, that I wasn't from. Uh, and then when it comes to steaks, I've only had one. No, I take it back. No, I've only had a, a good steak one time in Germany from a German restaurant. I've only had one good steak. And I'm not saying the Germans do not know how to cook a steak. The steak tastes, the texture is correct. If you order medium, it's medium. If it's supposed to be well done, it's well done. It's cooked perfectly. But it has no taste. It tastes like water. And I just don't like that. I feel like the steaks in America just have more taste. And even if you're just putting salt and pepper, maybe it's the cut of meat. Maybe it's the steaks are just, I don't know. The cows are better in America. I don't know. But for some reason, the steaks here in Germany, except for this one restaurant, I got a beef fillet. It was delicious. It was delicious. But other than that, every time I've gotten a steak here, I have been very disappointed. I think I've been to 10 different places, and I don't know how many places I got to go to before I'm like, I'm just gonna give up. I'm not gonna go to every restaurant. Maybe if I get rich, then I'll go to every restaurant. I will try a steak at every restaurant. But after 10 different places, I've only had one, and that one that was it's an hour and a half drive to get to, and I don't know if I'll make that hour and a half drive just for a steak. I have had good steaks here in Germany though, but when I made one myself, it was delicious. First time I ever tried to cook a steak, no, I took the yeah, no, first time I ever tried to cook a steak here in Germany. I tried to make steaks in America, I messed up every single time, but this time I finally got it right in Germany. Of course, I am a better cook than I was back when I was in America. I had to be. I had to learn how to make American food the way I like it. I'm still working on that. And then I had a great steak. My friend from my old school that I used to work at, he is a great chef. Man, if you open up a restaurant, his food is delicious. The problem is, I don't know if you ever writes down his recipes because it always tastes different. I think he's one of those people that experiments and sees what he like. But that's the only couple of times I've had a good steak outside of that one steak, and that was here recently. It was in Cochran. I went to a wedding. Other than that, that's the only time I've had a good steak. Um, Now, if anyone knows a great steak restaurant, you can point it out to me. I'll be willing to try it. I'm willing to try it, but like I said, I no need to search. I can cook it myself if I need to. Um, yeah. So, all right. I think that's question number six. You know what? I don't know. You know I have 10 questions. Let's go and get to the big question that I'm asked the most. Do I would I rather which country is better, America or Germany? And I can break this down in multiple parts. The short answer that I always give people is if you're single and healthy, America is the best country in the world. I think you have more opportunities in America. You have a better chance of being an entrepreneur. You can actually work multiple jobs and then you have to think about anything. In Germany, man, it's crazy how they even have a rule about the number of jobs that you can work. I can do whatever I want with my free time in America. If I want to work 3 jobs, I can work 3 jobs. It's not there's no rules about it. Germany sometimes it has too many rules to certain things. Um, Now, on the other side, I always tell people this: if you have a family and you're not filthy rich, you're just an average person like the majority of us are. Germany is safer for the most part, um, and you have more security than you would in America, and than more majority of the other countries. And so, if I look at it from the side of being a family man and job security and health insurance, um, I am leaning toward Germany. Um, but if I wanted to break it down more, I could because that's a short answer. I love America. I I think there's it's such a great country. It doesn't always get the respect it deserves in the international world, even though a lot of people love it. But there's a few things that we're doing wrong in America right now, and it's hard to talk about America because Americans we hate to criticize our own country. We see it sometimes as being you don't love your country, you criticize, and that's not right. That's not true. The country is not perfect. There's a lot of things we're doing wrong. There's some things that we had right, and we for some reason we changed them, and so America is getting worse because politics play too big of a role. And even though there's a lot of politics in Germany too, and there's more bureaucracy in Germany, the bureaucracy is keeping things steady versus necessarily turning it away. In America, the political situation is just, I mean, right now, schools, for instance, I wish people that were making more decisions about the school system in America were actual teachers and not just parents that with an agenda. Some of these school board members are just parents with an agenda. They don't care about the actual process of school. They just want to be loud and boisterous. And the same with these politicians. When Donald Trump said drain the swamp, I 100% agree with him. I think the issue is that who we consider part of the swamp might be different. Because there's people, members of the swamp on the Democrat side, and there's members of the swamp on the Republican side. And they're just basing their decision on based on lobbyists. They want to be a politician for the rest of their lives. And so whoever gives them the most money and make sure they hold on to their power are the ones that are, and they just flip flop. And I hate that. So there's people right now making decisions for the country, and they constantly change stuff. Before you can get a chance to really see if something worked, they already have a plan to change it. I think in Germany, because the bureaucracy, things move a little bit too slow sometimes, but that also means that the changes don't come as fast. And so, from a political standpoint, I think Germany is just a little bit more stable than America. Um, and that's unfortunate from the school standpoint. I think the school system, in theory, are better here in Germany than in America. Then it's very important when you become a parent. How is the school system? Now, there are great schools in America. I went to a decent school. I worked at a decent school. And I feel like my children could succeed anywhere in the world. But there are, overall, the school systems, because you have certain people making decisions. Overall, I think German school system are just a little bit better. Even though I do feel like my children will have a better school life in America, German schools they prepare you better for work, but there's no school life. You don't get to be a kid. I think as a kid is a kid in America. I mean, just look at what we do in school, just the school pride, the school song, the school dances, the school events. The school does so much for the kids. They make sure the kids not only learn something, but just have a life as a student and be proud of the school you're going to because you're gonna be part of the school system for the next 12 years. So yeah, you should love it. This should be a place that you enjoy going to. I think somewhere down the line Germany lost that. They don't put the focus on now. This is just as much the home for the children as their actual home. It's not just a place you go to school to; it's a place that's your home. So from that standpoint, I wish my kids could go to an American school to have that American experience. Um, but because there's silly politicians right now, I think just the German schools are just more stable. And then we go to the job security. In America, I had job security because I'm a teacher. They need teachers. They're not going to get rid of me unless I did something stupid. But it's the same thing in Germany. As a teacher, I'm safe. But when you come from other jobs, man, you need job security. Every other job in Germany has a more secure chance of surviving. I think from that standpoint, I would rather live in Germany health wise. Um, I would have had insurance in America too. I think America had the greatest health. No, I think America had the greatest doctors in the world. But because of the healthcare system, it's messed up. And I man, it's complicated. That answer is such a complicated answer about which one would you rather live in. But if I did live in America, here's some things I would have an advantage of. I would own a house right now. I would probably have multiple cars. Um, and I'm pretty healthy. My family is pretty healthy. And so I think in America, we would probably have a great life. We would have a probably even a better life. But that's my family. And that's my stance. The average person probably will struggle in Germany. I struggle in America. If you don't grow up in it, you probably will struggle. But from what my family is earning now here in Germany, we could earn basically the same thing in America. And we will, like I said, we will be able to own a house. We'll be able to own multiple cars. We will probably live a life of luxury in America than here in Germany. So there's always things you give up, right? There's going to be some advantages and there's going to be some disadvantages. There's some advantages of living in Germany, and then there's some advantages to living in America. And you have to really pick what are your things. But honestly, I will be successful. I will be just as successful in America, maybe even more successful in America than I am in Germany. But I'm comfortable here. And I have made friends here in Germany. And I've made, just like I had friends in America. I think no matter where you live in life, you got to make sure you cover every basis. And it's Maslow's law. I think it's Maslow's law. As long as you're getting all the things that you need, as far as a roof over your head, food and water, and then you get a job, you find a place that you feel secure, and you find happiness. If you can climb up the ladder of Maslow's law, I think it's a pyramid. Oh man, I don't remember now. But you would always find your happiness. And I have achieved that here in Germany. I am happy because I have all my basic needs and more. I have friends. I have this. I have that. I miss my family. The only thing about America that I really love is I miss my family. Before you make any decision to move anywhere, that's gonna be the hardest one. You're gonna miss your family. You're gonna miss your family. If you're close to your family like I am, you're gonna miss your family. That's the only reason why we move back to America right now. That's the only reason why I consider moving back to America every day is because I miss my family. And anytime something happens, it just makes me miss my family more. Anytime there's a holiday, I miss my family more. But if I was in America, I would probably miss Germany too. I would miss my friends here. But as far as success, I'll be just as successful in America, maybe even more successful in America than I am in Germany. And it's just because I know the type of person that I am, and I know the type of family that I have helped create, and that's why I know that we could make it in either country. So I don't know if that really answered your question. Um, I don't know if that really answered the question because that's a hard question for me to answer. Um, but yeah, so let's go to 90 Day Fiance. I don't know if anybody watched the show. Um, question: Why did I move here? And this is gonna be a 90 Day Fiance type question. Why did I move to Germany? I moved to Germany because my wife is German. I had no plans to ever leave America. I had no plans to ever leave Arkansas. But my wife convinced me that we could establish ourselves here in Germany. And just like many people on 90 Day Fiance, if you ever watched this show, I did not do enough research um, to figure out how to be successful in Germany. I thought I could speak English, I could make it anywhere. Man, I should have learned a couple of skills. I'm a teacher. I'm a taught teacher. I went to university to become a teacher, so I'm a certified teacher. But being a certified teacher does not mean I'll guarantee the job. And I think a lot of people that move to a new country will necessarily do the research to figure out what would it take to be successful in a new country. Um, man, I it's crazy because I remember watching movies. You always have someone from Eastern Europe. This before I think Europe was really coming together, but Eastern Europe, and you always see when they move to America that they will say they were a doctor in their home country, but now they're a taxi driver, or they're doing this or they're doing that in America. And I just think, oh well, just because they're from a third world nation, wherever they were from, they're from a third world nation. The university is not as good. Me coming from America to Germany, we're both equal to a certain extent. My stuff will be easy to convert. No, that's not true. I found that out the hard way. I was not prepared. It did not easily convert. And it took me almost 9 years to get back in the career field that I really wanted to work in. Even though I know I took it back. I was a teacher. I've been a teacher at a private school, but to get into the German system, it took about 9 years for me to figure out a solution. And I still can't tell you how I did it. And I think a lot of people that move from another country have that same problem. We don't know how to make it in a new country. And so sometimes we end up taking jobs that are maybe not what we expected, and we don't make the money that we were hoping to make, and we don't end up having the life that we were hoping to have. And when you go to someone to try to ask them for help, a lot of times these people are incompetent and they don't know how to help you because they don't know how to answer the question. How can a German person that have never moved to a new country explain to me how to settle in into a new country? No, they honestly they need to have immigrants who made the process to help out with that situation. Because a lot of times the Germans, and oh, they always rude too. Not always, sometimes, most of the time they're rude. They'll tell you, well, you should do this. So how do I do that? Well, you should know. No, I don't know. I'm not from here. You tell me how. And I face that quite a bit. And I know other people face that as well. But there's no, I mean, man, there's no one that could just explain it to me. Now, I figured out some sources to go to, but it took me a while, and that was my fault. I was dumb for not doing the research. Same as learning the customs. Luckily, German customs and American customs are not too much different, but they are different. They are different, such as tipping, such as I don't know, asking people how you doing. In America, we always say, "Hey, how you doing?" That just we got so used to saying it as one phrase. You don't do that in Germany unless you really want to know how they're doing. The way people eat, the what's considered dessert, what's not considered dessert. I mean, so many small things that we say they're all the same. No, we're not. And I didn't do the once again, I did not do the research. Just like so many people now they fiance, I was not as prepared to move here as I thought I was. And I think that's why a lot of the couples or any relationship, you're going to struggle. Finding a partner is hard enough. Finding love is hard enough. Even if you come from the same area, that's hard enough. And now you're adding in moving to a new country and still trying to figure out if you have love for this person. And you run into the same problem that other most couples have: money issues, Um, Learning how to live with someone. If you've never lived with someone before and now you're trying to live with them for the first time, man, you don't. No one knows how that person is until you lay down with them or you sit down with them, be with them for a week and a month. There's certain things that you ignore before that come out now, and you're like, nah. I'm not saying it's anything bad. But it could be like, wow, I did not know that. I did not know that this way you do this, and then the relationship with their family is not going to be the same as your relationship with your family. Their way their family does things, the way they celebrate holidays, is going to be different. And you're mixing all this in, and now you're living in a new country, which means that you just can't go back to your family like, hey, and talk to them, man. I just wasn't prepared. I think a lot of people that participated in 90 Day Fiance, they are not prepared because they no one has really explained to them what it's going to be like, and we just jump in head first. We're jumping in for love, and then sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes there needs to be more because these same struggles are always going to be there. Now, luckily, I have a very patient wife, and we were able to figure things out. It took me 6 months to get a job. We were barely making it. We were barely making it. I was eating beans every day. Just like the song by Little mentioned, "We're gonna make it." I was eating beans every day, trying to be cheap. Man, I was someone gave me a bike to get around. I didn't have a bus ticket. Um, Once we got a sign of pressure, once we were able to relax a little bit because I finally was able to get a job. I wasn't able to work in the first 6 months. First of all, it wasn't that I couldn't get it, that I couldn't find a job. I could not get a job. That's the first thing. I was not able to work my first 6 months. I had to go through some type of process to be able to be allowed to work. That's the other thing. If you come here with a job first, then you can work straight away. But because of the way I did it, I was not allowed to work for the first 6 months. Let's get that part straight. Because I would have worked anywhere. I would have worked at McDonald's if I would have had to, just to make money. Um, but yeah, once we finally got it situated and I finally got a job, man, things got a little bit better. And then once I got an even better job, things got a little bit better. And then we were able to relax. But when you have one spouse that's sitting at home all day because they can't get started or know how to figure things out, that adds stress. When one person is working, another person not and just sitting at the home, it does add stress too, you know. But that's what we were going through. And once we were able to figure things out, life did get a lot better. But there are certain things that are never going to change. I still miss my family. If you're close to your family, you're gonna be close. So to me, that's the hardest part about moving to a new country or moving anywhere far away is that you're gonna miss your family. You're gonna miss your. When I say family, this means friends too. You're gonna miss your family. You're gonna miss your friends. You're gonna miss doing things your way or whatever way you had set up. And you gotta relearn that. And if you're not patient enough, and if your partner is not patient enough for you to try to figure it all out, um, then it's going to be a struggle. And I do see a lot of people that immigrate to a new country and they go through those same struggles um, because their vision of how things they want to be does not always end up being their reality. Um, but I would say I have made it. I'm successful, um, and things are good. And so yeah, that's my hour-long stream. I'm gonna do another stream probably in a couple of days. It's gonna be about Germany. It's gonna be about living here. It'd be nice if my friend Matthias would join me over a live stream as well. I have another channel with him where we make comedy videos. Haven't made a new video in a long time. Um, we need to figure it out. Maybe we should also get tattoos, like the girl group, the ladies group, and yeah. So with that, I'm signing out. Those are the questions that I get asked the most while living in Germany. There's some other ones, but I couldn't think of them off the top of my head. With that being said, everyone have a great day. Love you. 300 hours away. Remember, only 300 hours away from being monetized. So let's get that. Let's get to that. Peace.